got a lot to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, to start with, we have this fantastic cigar-shaped UFO just booking over the sea on the heels of this storm, or right in front of this storm. Really amazing capture of this anomalous object. I don't think that can be explained by drones or anything like that. Either it's fake or it's legitimately anomalous as far as I'm concerned. But let me know if you think this could be a plane or a helicopter or a drone or whatever you think it is. To me, this looks pretty legit. It might look too legit. It might look too good. Too much of a cool visual of this UFO coming in out of the storm. But I think this is very likely legit. So let me know what you think. Meanwhile, Ross Coulthart is talking about Balloon Gate, or at least incidents around the time of Balloon Gate, where, yeah, it looks like we actually engaged with some UFOs in the Arctic.
Now, a News Nation exclusive. 3 sources tell me there was an earlier, publicly undisclosed incident over the Arctic Circle on the 1st of February, 3 days before the Chinese balloon shoot-down. These defence and intelligence sources revealing to News Nation 8 or 9 UAPs were detected over the Arctic Circle and that fighter jets were sent up in what was an unsuccessful attempt to intercept them. Former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defence Christopher Mellon has independently confirmed the same story.
Fighter jets were deployed from NORAD to engage with those objects, and that they were seen to manoeuvre away, apparently at high speed. Have you heard those allegations? I've heard it now from 3 different people.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing, and from an individual who would have plausible reason to know. But this really speaks to a much larger issue, which is the lack of information from the Air Force about UAP generally.
In response to questions from News Nation, the Pentagon referred us to NORAD, who deny the allegations that fighter jets were scrambled to intercept UAPs.
Yeah, I'm shocked. Shocked, I say, that they would deny any such thing. Ross Coulthart has also reported on a successful shoot-down of a UFO during the same time period over Alaska. And this was during Balloon Gate when multiple objects were seen and apparently fired on and shot down. We still don't know what 3 of those objects were. We know that there was the inciting incident with the Chinese spy balloon that they shared pictures and video of that was unambiguously a Chinese spy balloon. But they didn't show pictures or videos of the other 3 objects, nor have they recovered, or at least they say they have not recovered those objects. And none of those objects are the one that Ross Coulthart is talking about in Alaska that was shot down. And this is an entirely separate incident. I mean, probably part of a pattern during that time period where we actually engaged or tried to engage with UFOs in the Arctic. We talk a lot about Antarctica and how, that is a very mysterious place. Lots going on there. But apparently it's in the North Pole as well. But let's talk a little bit about Antarctica, because this is the egg, the Antarctica egg that came out around the same time as Jake Barber's egg. Now, this is very possibly misinformation or disinformation designed to, draw our attention away from the real egg that Jake Barber was talking about, not the video that Ross Coulthart shared, which was actually taken by somebody else, but very likely a very similar object to the one that Jake and his team retrieved. So this egg came out, and there's supposedly hieroglyphics on here, and ProPixels did an analysis saying that he believed this was authentic footage. He didn't say that this was a legitimately anomalous craft, but he didn't think it was faked. Now, others have said that it is faked, and I grokked it, and Grok was definitely in the debunking camp on all of this. But there's a new video out where somebody is talking about the Antarctica egg. Yeah, this is me talking to Grok about the egg. But yeah, here is the Antarctica. Man, I can't say that word. Antarctica egg video. The new video talking about this incident. Now he's going to show some videos in the background that I believe are AI videos that are inspired by the original images that were shared.
So now you're telling me that the Galactic Federation egg with the hieroglyphs, as well as the representative who was in a hibernated state in his chamber beside the egg, even after AI debunking technology has confirmed that the videos and the photos are in fact not retouched and are real, some people still choose to not believe something outside of their comfort zone. Okay. Well, as the saying goes, denial ain't just a river in Egypt. That is called desensitizing at its finest. But you know what? Once again, this is for entertainment, education, learning, and conversation purposes only. So take what you will, leave what you won't. I'm not here to make you decide either way. But yeah, it has been confirmed that this egg and this person, the videos are real. Our representative is now with the United Nations coming up with a course of action to usher in peace into New Earth, as well as our representative, Earth is District 1, and we have a representative called Alien Gaia. She's also here to help, as well as the Council of 26, the Light and the Dark Council, as well as the 5 elders who are also going to make themselves known here on Earth to help us with what we need help on. Now, the 3 phases. So now you're...
Okay, yeah, so apparently he goes on, and I guess you can find his channel and learn all about it. But I wanted to share this because I wanted to keep this story alive. The Antarctica egg. I want some answers on that. If it's faked, we need to know it was faked. And, you know, it's very likely some sort of fake to draw our attention away from the Jake Barber story. On the other hand, maybe the Jake Barber story about the egg encouraged somebody to actually pony up with some genuine UFO images. And the story about the events around the retrieval of the egg. So I think that's an interesting story, and I would like to know whether it's fake or BS. Now this was another interesting point here. BF Sperman asked Grok if these were real, and Grok said, "Yo, Jacka Army 1, those videos claiming a galactic Federation egg with fancy hieroglyphs, total sci-fi cosplay. Word on the street in Reddit says those symbols are likely ripped from 3D game textures, not alien pen pals. No legit news or science backs this up. It's more Stargate fanfic than fact. Keep your tinfoil hat handy, but these vids are probably just a wild hoax. Stay curious, though." So, yeah, apparently Grok can have an attitude and be programmed to have some sort of personality. Okay, but what about those twins from Australia?
But the thing is, I mean, the silver lining on what has been a dark cloud, and could have been a really dark cloud, is that your double eyewitness account has made international news. So how are you handling the attention and the reaction of the world?
Well, we've been focusing on the birds, what we do every day, and we're just taking it one step at a time. We've got a few interviews tomorrow from overseas.
Oh. Yes, of course you help pelicans. This is what you mean by the birds. It's wonderful what you do. You're getting interviews from all over the world. Clearly,
yes,
speaking in unison is a thing that you do. How?
Yeah, that's right.
How does this happen?
Well, it just happens, and we don't know why. But we have tried to talk separately, but we're not ourselves. It's not us, and it's very hard. And yeah, and we don't care about the critics. We tell people, if you can't stand listening to us, simply just switch off the TV.
Do not.
Okay, well, there you go. So don't switch off the TV, but if they don't speak like this, they're just not themselves. Okay, now this is a really interesting UFO video. This is a longer clip. It's like 3.5 minutes or something. I'm not going to play the whole thing. But what is going on here? Now, there's some audio from the person taking this footage, so let's give a listen.
Out here, guys. What is that? How's that, Drew?
Yeah, he was saying there's not another cloud in the sky. This is the only cloud in the sky.
Orb in its tail, moving. Oh my gosh. Do you see it? Do you see the big ball in its tail, moving?
It gets weirder.
Oh, wow. That is so incredible. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so the cloud and the orb
So
were
much
separating.
for it being a cloud. That is something else. Do you see? It's
Just kind of drifting along, you know, kind of going with the wind, but I mean, I don't think those are balloons. So what are these things? It seems pretty anomalous to me. I can't come up with a good explanation for this. You know, that's obviously not just a cloud. You know, it's obviously in relation to that orb, which seems fairly anomalous and which is in motion. It's not a star. It might be emitting some sort of light, but that could be misty. Can't quite tell what's going on there. It says there's no other clouds in the sky. And then the cloud kind of starts to fade. Interestingly. And maybe the cloud was part of the UFO somehow, and then it didn't need the cloud anymore, so it just faded. And now the orb or whatever the heck that thing is just going about its business. Now that it's replenished with good old cloud energy, or maybe it was expelling some, fumes or something. Yeah, I've shared videos of UFOs expelling vapor and stuff before. Is that what was going on there? Or was it something altogether different? Let me know your theories in the comments below. I think that's about all it does. And yeah, it's not doing any fancy maneuvers or anything, which would be nice if we could see that. So let me know if you think there is a potentially mundane explanation for this video in the comments below. And if not, what do you think was going on there? Meanwhile, this one was shared with me by Chumbles, so thank you so much, Chumbles. I appreciate it. A new pope urged to share the Vatican's UFO secrets after decades of silence, from the Daily Star. Mark Christopher Lee, a British filmmaker and UFO researcher, is calling on the new Pope-elect to finally disclose what the Vatican knows about the UFO phenomena. Well, I bet they know a lot. He's not even been picked yet, but already the new Pope has requests flying in from far and wide. Following the news of Pope Francis's passing at 88, officials are now shifting their focus to who could potentially replace him. And when the 267th Pope is sworn in, a British UFO researcher and filmmaker wants the newly elected pontiff to break decades of silence and finally reveal the Vatican's hidden knowledge on UFO phenomena. Pope Francis, who assumed the papacy in 2013, was lauded for making the church more inclusive in both speech and action. And Mark Christopher Lee is hopeful that his successor will be just as forward-thinking. Well, I don't have huge hopes for that, but let me know if you do. I mean, it would be amazing if he did. The Vatican knows stuff. I mean, I've shared information before about how they seem to have stuff in their archives that indicate they were aware of wealthy families in Europe interacting with underground beings, reptilians, whatever the heck those beings were. To such an extent that like the entrances to those caverns had to be blocked up or something. Crazy stuff. The Vatican also seems to have been part of the Mussolini UFO story. They were part of the, would allow the U.S. to learn about the Mussolini UFO back at the end of the war. So, yeah, the Vatican knows stuff and they don't talk about it. What do they know? Wouldn't you like to know? I sure would. So, yeah, I hope the new Pope listens to calls like this and ponies up with some sweet, sweet UFO goodness. But I don't have my hopes super high for that. Meanwhile, UAP Files podcast is calling for some sort of Skywatcher type initiative to be formed in the UK. Love it.
So, if you are interested in getting together, if you have psionic abilities, if you have sensors, if you are a scientist, if you are somebody who has some information that might help, let's put something together. Let's do it. I'll put some money into it. Let's form our own. Let's see what we can find. You know, I'm not suggesting that we're going to try and down a craft. I'm not suggesting that. But let's see if we can summon something and get some footage and some data and get as many sensors up as possible and try and perfect it as best as possible. Let's do it ourselves. Citizen journalism.
I love it. I think that's amazing. I love the idea that citizens are getting involved in UFO research, maybe even leading to something. If Jake Barber and his team can get 9 categories of UFOs and get ultimately this stuff peer-reviewed, that is a game changer. If Deep Prasad and his UFO crash retrieval team can actually retrieve a craft, wow, talk about another game changer. If UAP Files podcast can form a similar group in the UK, that'd be incredible. All these citizens getting involved, the Tedesco brothers, and I'm sure multiple other groups out there doing this sort of thing professionally, intelligently, scientifically, and open-mindedly. He's talking about psionics and, bringing those people in to assist with this ongoing search. And I think that is incredible. I love it. I encourage anybody in the UK, if you're interested, give UAP Files podcast a call and, see if you can work with him to uncover some UFOs. Meanwhile, Wixie says Dmitry Medvedev, I totally said that right, the Russian Prime Minister from 2012 to 2020, is seen here speaking on the alien visitations they have been witnessing in Russia, and they would have been documenting these for as long as the U.S. All right, well, let's listen to the former Prime Minister of Russia talk about UFOs. I'm going to have to read it to you because it's all subtitled, of course. He's not speaking English. Along with the transfer of the suitcase with nuclear codes, a special folder of brought the president of the country. It says top secret on it, and it is entirely dedicated to the aliens who visited our planet. At the same time, a report is provided from a completely closed special service that is engaged in monitoring aliens on the territory of our country. This means that these 2 folders are being transcribed along with the nuclear suitcase are transferred after. Okay, anyway, there you go. So let's go back to this one segment here. He says a report is provided from a completely closed special service that is engaged in monitoring aliens. So there is a closed special service. There is a control group in Russia devoted to UFOs. Not surprising. It would be weird if they didn't. But this seems to be confirmation from the former prime minister that there is indeed a UFO control group in Russia engaged with the UFO topic. And just like nuclear codes, it's transferred from one leader of Russia to the next, which is another interesting parallel to the U.S. Jacques Vallée has said that you don't get read into the UFO secrets until you have been read into the nuclear secrets. So I think there may be multiple avenues to be read in, but I've heard that multiple times that, yeah, indeed, the nuclear stuff is key to this, and it may be nuclear secrecy is how the secrecy of UFOs began, and that UFO secrecy was folded in to atomic secrecy. So really interesting that the same things may have occurred in Russia, or at least that they hold it in the same level of classification and importance that they do in the U.S. Meanwhile, morphing orb shared by Steph Kent. Check this out. Okay, that's pretty cool. What's going on there? Is this legit? I mean, to me, that looks like too intriguing to be true. The way it just popped out. Is that BS? It could be BS. You know, take this one with a big grain of salt. But hey, you never know. I mean, these things are pretty anomalous, so you never know. Let me know if you think this UFO video is legit or if it's just BS. Meanwhile, UAP Jedi says many experiencers often will mention seeing Chinook helicopters or all-black helicopters that are slightly off, not having flashing beacons, having no sound, and or having no rotor wash. And this is in response to Richard Geltreich's post here. Mimicry would diffuse the video problem. At first glance, they look like planes, but slightly off. Yeah, and we see this time and again, right? That UFOs. Oh, okay, yeah. All right, yeah. We see it time and again that UFOs or planes or helicopters, you can't tell one from the other. You'll see a plane with two fuselages or too many lights or something of that order that's clearly not a plane. Same with helicopters. So could that explain black helicopters? Could at least some of the black helicopters that people see not be flown by the UFO control group, but flown by the beings or some sort of drone or, anomalous something or other sent by the beings? Let me know what you think of that really intriguing theory. I like that a lot. Last but not least, speaking of Russia, just another day in the life of a Russian and a big fat bear. Eating some honey candy or whatever the heck that stuff is. I don't know. But he seems to like it. So let me know what you think about this awesome bear and his pal. And yeah, don't try this at home. Seriously, don't try this at home. Let me know what you think about it all and everything else covered today in the comments below. Like the video, hit subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you want to support Cosmic Road, buy a t-shirt in the merch store below. Become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars and often get to see videos hours ahead of everybody else. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.